A conversation now with Texas Republican Congressman Keith Self, a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee and the House Freedom Caucus. But Congressman Self, I want to start with those expiring Affordable Care Act tax credits and what it means for the cost of health care for millions of Americans. What do you think should happen when it comes to those health care subsidies? And is there a piece of legislation out there right now that you can support?
Well, frankly, we need to let these COVID-era temporary subsidies expire. First of all, most of the increases in premiums that people are seeing across the country are because of the normal subsidies, not these temporary subsidies that we're discussing today. First of all, they only affect 7% of the people, these extended COVID-era subsidies. They only cover about 7% of the people. The vast majority of the premium increases are because of the Obamacare subsidies written into the original law. So we're piling subsidies on top of subsidies. We need to let these expire at the end of the year, end of this month, and then we need to start fixing health care. Obamacare has been a monumental failure for 15 years, and I think now is the time. Now that people are understanding just how broken Obamacare is, now is the time to start fixing it. And I think that's what you're alluding to. So we've got several proposals by moderates to extend the subsidies. I don't think we're going to get a vote on any of those because I think they've actually whipped the votes and they realize it's not going to happen. So what we are going to see is the Rules Committee is going to put together a package for the floor of the House tonight. We will vote on either tomorrow or the next day, depending on when they bring it to the floor, that will have some modest improvements, some modest reforms. But going forward into the new year, we're going to have a heavy lift to then probably go to Reconciliation 2.0 and fix health care in a major lift. So that's the way I see it falling out.
You talk about it only impacting, these subsidies only impacting 7% of the people. Texas A&M in a new study put the numbers in a different way. Looking at Texas in particular, some 4 million Texans will face higher health care insurance prices next year if these expire. Some 800,000 perhaps could lose their insurance for lack of an affordable option. So what do those Texans do in the meantime as it takes Congress time to make these fixes that you're talking about?
Well, the fixes are going to happen pretty fast. That's what I'm talking about. This bill that we're looking at today has Association of Healthcares in it. It's got choice. These help the employers. It passes money directly to their employees so that they can go shop for their health care. And frankly, if industries want to band together, smaller industries, say shoemakers, if you want to band together and have an association plan, fine. The choice plan allows employees to go shop for insurance. So all of these will take the insurance company out of the middle. It will put the employers and the employees back in charge of their health care. So those are immediate. And then you've got the cost reduction share. And then a little bit of PBM reform, I think, is going to be in this bill, drug pricing reform. So I think there are going to be some things that will help those people that exactly you're talking about.
Can you just dive into PBM reform, what that means and what a PBM is?
Well, the pharmacy benefit managers basically do the drug pricing. Put very simplistically, and that is simplistic, I realize. But the reform there will try to put some transparency in this, so it's a very minor reform the way I understand it. We'll see that when the language actually comes out and when the rule comes out, but that's my understanding of the bill now.
And you think this can all get done pretty soon here at the same time that Congress is trying to avert another government shutdown? It has to fund the government come January, or else we face what we faced back in October.
Well, this bill will pass this week or not, but it will be on the floor of the House this week. This bill that we're talking about, the shutdown would happen at the end of January. So we've got another month before that happens. So these are not concurrent events.
Moving from healthcare to foreign affairs, I just want to get your thoughts on where we are as somebody who's steeped in this when it comes to a deal to end the war in Ukraine. What do you expect a final deal to look like? Are we close to that happening?
I don't think we're close to that happening. First of all, I think Putin is in the driver's seat. He thinks he's winning. He has the upper hand when it comes to a number of people. He's the aggressor right now. Having said that, I don't think that the Ukrainians are anywhere close to folding. They're fighting for one of the last pieces of defensible terrain there in the Donbass. And if they hold that, I think they can hold the Russians out of the flat plain of Ukraine. So no, I don't think we're close. The European nations are frankly not stepping up to the security force that President Trump has been talking about. So one, I think that Putin doesn't feel any need to come to the table with a deal. He'll continue to string it out. Yes, he'll talk. Yes, he'll say, we'll talk again, we'll talk again. But I don't think Putin feels any need to come to the table. Zelensky must continue to defend Ukraine. So at this point, President Trump is trying time and time again to bring them to some sort of agreement. But frankly, I don't see it anytime soon.
How could President Trump better pressure Vladimir Putin?
We need to put the sanctions that are in place, we need to enforce them. Look, Iran and China basically are funding the Russian war effort by buying Russian oil, Russian energy. So we need to actually take steps to enforce it. So take the Russian ghost ships that are transporting Russian oil around the world to China and India primarily, and actually enforce those sanctions, because that's what's actually funding the Russian war effort.
You mentioned ships. Can I come to drug boats? And there's a closed session today with the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Defense with House members. If you get a chance to ask a question of Secretary Rubio and Secretary Hegseth, what will you ask?
I would ask what the mission is in Venezuela. As a military planner for probably a decade, I want to know what the final mission is. What do we hope to accomplish? Because we're using kinetic force against the drug boats. Two, we've got a carrier battle group sitting there, which is a tremendous message and a tremendous offensive capability. So I want to know what the mission in Venezuela is. That would be my question.
What do you think the mission should be?
Well, I don't know what the administration has in mind. I know that they would like to see Maduro gone, but simply having Maduro gone does not solve the drug issue. We've got the demand here in the United States for the drugs, and we've got multiple avenues that drugs are entering the United States. They're even using the Pacific now. So simply taking Maduro out of his position does not solve the overall drug problem. That's why my question is, what's the final mission? What are we trying to do in Venezuela?
Keith Self is our guest. The congressman from Texas is with us for just about 20 more minutes, so go ahead and get your calls in. This is how you can do it. 202-748-8001 for Republicans, 202-748-8000 for Democrats. Independents, it's 202-748-8002. We'll also look for your text messages as well, 202-748-8003. Congressman, back to domestic affairs for a second. Stock trading by members of Congress. There's legislation on that topic. Are you supporting that legislation? Where are you on these efforts to rein that in?
I think we ought to ban stock trading by members of Congress. I sold my little $2,000 worth of stock that I got as a bonus one time, so that I don't own any stocks. And I think that we ought to ban it. I don't think that because we as members of Congress, we do get insider information. We talk to companies. We kind of know where they're going. I don't, because I'm not on the financial committees, but I know members do. I think we ought to ban it. People that say they need the money to send their kids to school or whatever, they can go into mutual funds and do the same thing. It's not that you can't have assets in financial market. You just shouldn't be able to trade stocks as a member of Congress.
Do you think the majority of members of Congress who do trade stocks as members of Congress, do they abuse it, or is this kind of a few bad apples situation?
Well, I think we know of the few that actually do enrich themselves through it, but you ask how many? I have no idea. I know that because it's publicly known that there are a few that enrich themselves, but the overall number, no idea.
Have you had conversations with fellow members of Congress about this bill? Do you think it will pass the effort to ban stock trading by members?
No, I haven't had conversations, and frankly, it's not high on my radar. We've got some really serious issues. I know this is a very visceral issue with our public, and I will certainly support it. But no, I've not had conversations. I just know where I stand.
Congressman Keith Self is our guest this morning. It's 202-748-8001 for Republicans. Democrats 202-748-8000. Independents 202-748-8002. What else is on your agenda here this week, Congressman? What needs to get done before the end of the year here by the House of Representatives?
Well, we need to keep focused on the central bank digital currency. I don't know that we're going to see anything by the end of the year, but we were promised that the anti-central bank digital currency would be in the National Defense Authorization Act. It didn't get in there, so we need to focus on what is the next tool. And frankly, I think that, again, that will be Reconciliation 2.0. But the central bank digital currency is the federal government has absolute transparency of your money, of what you buy, what you spend your money on, and it's a dangerous concept, and we need to make sure that we continue to follow up on that.